Hey everybody, so I started working on this crop top video back at the beginning of summer, and it is no longer summer, but it is still hot here in Texas, so the video is still relevant. It ended up being such a long project that I'm just now wrapping it up, and it is so huge that I decided to split it up into two parts. So here's part one. Enjoy. Hey everybody, so summer has been in full swing here in Texas, and what I realized over the past couple years of living here is that the only appropriate top for a Texas summer is a crop top. In January of this year, I decided that I'm not buying any clothes at all this year. Like, I'm not thrifting anything. I'm not buying any new clothes. So the only pieces that I have to work with are going to be things from my closet or fabrics that I already have on hand. And a couple weeks ago, I went through my closet and I picked out a couple of tops, like tank tops and t-shirts that I just haven't been wearing for years. So I'm thinking I will turn them into more wearable crop tops. All right, now let's see these contestants that we are going to be working with. Okay, so our first transformation contestant is this baby blue tank top that I've had since like 2007, I think. So this is super old. I think this is gonna be pretty easy. I'm literally just gonna like chop it where I want it to be cropped, and I'm gonna hem it. I'm gonna use the cover stitch machine to hem it. And then whatever piece remains, if it's large enough, then maybe I'll even like turn it into like a bonus little super crop top. Okay, this next one is just this simple gray t-shirt. And it's already like not bad. It's already like kind of cropped, but I want it like more cropped for like more air, more breeze. And it's also kind of like a little bit wide on me here. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just take in the sides a little bit and crop it a little more. And I'm also thinking of making it a little bit more ornate and like maybe scrunching it up here and adding a bow. The next contestant is a t-shirt, a Johnny Cupcakes t-shirt that my friend Michael Chang got for me back in, what year was that? I think like 2009. So I've also had this one for a while. Like, it's a pretty cool t-shirt, but I haven't been wearing it much. I think it's because it is not cropped and I need it to be cropped. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to crop it down to like where the bones of the skull and bones, cupcake and bones end. And I'm also thinking, because again, it is Texas and it is hot and I need air circulation, I'm thinking of like cutting off the sleeves, and then I will probably use the trim, like the stuff that I trim off to trim the sleeve, the armholes. So I'm going to turn it into like a tank top, like a sleeveless top and cropped. Okay, so this next one is a tank top, but it actually used to be a t-shirt. And this is probably my oldest piece. I've had this since, I don't know, I was in high school. So it must have been like 2002, 2004. I don't know. Yeah, this thing is definitely over 20 years old. And it used to be a t-shirt. Then, I don't know, I didn't wear it. So I turned it into this tank top. And it's done. Like this thing is completely over with. Like, its lifetime has run out because it has like holes in it. And I could just throw it away. I could just throw it away, but I really like the graphic on it. So what I want to do is I want to just like cut out the graphic because it's kind of sentimental to me, and I want to just like put it onto another shirt or another tank top. Okay, and this last tank top that I found is just this like white cami that actually used to be a long sleeve shirt that I thrifted back when, again, this is one of my high school creations back when I think this was like 2004 or 2005. And I turned it into this cami, and you can tell this is like a mid-2000s piece with this like lace trim here. And I like the detail that I did on the top here. Like, this is kind of cute, I think. This little like ruffle. So what I kind of want to do is, like, first of all, I want to crop it. I want to keep this ruffle detail. And what I kind of want to do, I don't know, this is going to be wearable in the summer here, but I'm thinking I want to add sleeves to it, like big puffy sleeves out of this lace fabric. All right, now let's get to chopping up these tops. In my usual fashion, without much planning or consideration of future remorse, I just chopped off the bottom half of this tank top. Then I pinned down about 1/2 inch on the bottom in order to hem the new top. And as usual, I used my cover stitch machine in order to finish the hem on this new top. And voila, one crop top down. But of course, me being me, I invested a lot more of my time into trying to make trash live up to its full potential. I wanted to turn the tank top leftover into a cute cropped cami. But of course, just being useful and functional wasn't good enough. I wanted to convince my trash that it's capable of so much more. that it was born to shine, so I decided to embellish it with little strawberry appliques. I cut out 3 strawberry-shaped pieces from pink fabric, and I spent hours embroidering seeds onto them in hopes that the more love I put into this, the more redeeming qualities I can awaken in my trash top. Then I used this useful book to prevent me from attaching the strawberries to layers of the top that they shouldn't be attached to. I used basting stitches to secure the strawberries into place so that when the turbulent sewing machine times come around, the trash top would know that the strawberries are securely attached. On the sewing machine, I used a zigzag stitch going back and forth, to and from the strawberry to permanently attach the strawberries to the trash top. To breathe a little bit of life into these strawberries, I added some green tops to them, and I again secured them with basting stitches to keep them in place during sewing. Unfortunately, when I tried to zigzag stitch them, they began to fall apart or got jammed in the machine, so I proceeded to sew them on by hand. At this point, I didn't even like where things were going, but the sunken cost fallacy had me clinging on to the potential. The little fantasy that I've dreamed up in my head about the happy times ahead. Just me and my trash top, frolicking on the hiking trails, living out our Texas summer dreams. To hide the trash top's ugly raw edges, I trimmed it with some stretchy pink fabric. I zigzag stitched it to keep it in place, and then I folded it over and used a cover stitch machine to finish the trim. Then I proceeded to give the trash top some straps for it to hold on to me with. I first turned the strips of fabric into loops by sewing the ends together, then I zigzag stitched them onto the armhole area of the top. And lastly, I finished the straps with a cover stitch. Off camera though, I did a bit more chopping and trimming to mold the trash top to my body better. The next top was almost the right fit for me, so it didn't need a lot of work to become my favorite. I used my trusty cat's top that has been part of my life for 10 years as a pattern for reshaping the gray top to my liking. I chopped off the excess fabric, pinned the sides together, and serged them. Then I folded and pinned the hem and finished it with a cover stitch. To make the top a bit prettier, I marked the center line in the front and I added a piece of elastic to scrunch up the top in the front a little bit. I zigzag stitched the elastic into place, and lastly, I sewed on a bow in the front. And now, let me show you how these tops turned out. This is what the blue tank top looked like before, and this is what the blue tank top looks like cropped. I'm definitely feeling way less sweaty in the cropped version of this top than I did in its original form. I like that it's simple, but the pretty embellishments on it make it look a little fancier. It's great for a variety of activities in the Texas heat. And given how easy this modification was, I give it a 10 out of 10. Now, the strawberries top that I made out of the remnant of the same blue tank top. I think it turned out pretty cute. It's light, airy, and gives youthful vibes. I had pretty low hopes for it, but I think we'll end up being pretty good friends. Even though it's very cute, making it drained me physically and emotionally, so 5 out of 10 for this one. And now the gray top. This is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. Honestly, clothing fitting properly can make such a difference. I didn't wear this top for like a year, but now I'm pretty excited to incorporate it into cute outfits. The bow embellishment also took it up a level. But because I had to use 2 types of machines for this project, I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for part 2 in about a week or 2 to see how the rest of the tops turned out. Until then, bye.